This is the application for the Wyze Duo Pan. Here we can see it's listed on my main homepage with all of my other Wyze cameras. And there we can see it is going to show me a live feed on this main homepage here. And I have the option to turn on and off this camera, which is pretty much just a quick toggle for privacy mode. And you can see it's got the little live icon there letting you know that you're actually seeing a live feed. And then I also currently have my Wyze subscription on this instead of my front doorbell so that I can show you some of the differences between paid services and non-paid services with this camera. We're going to tap on it and give it a second to open up. And we have our two different views. We have our PTZ view up at the top, and then the bottom is our stationary. Not greatly placed for this, and the lighting's a little weird. I turned on some things to try and make it a little easier to see in the live feed. But over here, we can see 2K. If I tap on that, I can change it to HD, 360, or auto, which will change based on your connectivity and so forth. We're going to put it back to 2K. It's showing us that it is live at the top. And then we have the ability to, if I select this, go into full screen mode, and then you'll notice that we can tap to change the view. Now, I understand that in this particular view, it's a little tricky to tell which is actually which, but if you look down here, when you're in your PTZ, you have the ability to hit the PTZ controls right there. If I tap on my double box, I can have them side by side if I wanted to, or I can do picture in picture, which is what we were looking at before. PTZ controls, if we want to bring them up right there, turn them off. We've got our three dots that will pretty much bring up all the extra options, which we're going to talk about momentarily. And then right here, we can bring up our timeline view. For that, we're going to bring it back to the main view. And we're going to come down. Now, tapping once again, you could see there are some extra icons that I wish would stay up a little longer. First and foremost is our LED light. Now, we can turn this on for each individual camera. Now, this is a little tricky to see right now, but I'll put in a clip of this actually working in practice. But I like the fact that they allow you to turn that on and off per camera instead of treating this as a single view. We have to the right of that our microphone. This will turn on our microphone, which will now allow, in my case, my cat to hear me. I can turn on and off the audio, and I can toggle on and off the microphone from this up here. This is very touchy. I wish it wasn't so, but that is what it is. Coming down, our first and foremost is actually events. If I select this, this is going to bring up this timeline view of the camera feed. Now, I'm going to show you right here, maybe not that one, don't like that one. I'm going to show you this feed here. This is letting me know, if I want to, I can zoom in on that, that this detected a person. Now, the problem with this is these detections for people or pets is only going to be if you have a Wyze subscription. If I pause that, you will also only be able to speed this up to 4 times if you have the subscription. If you don't have the subscription, then you're going to get these, which are just motion events that show you, hey, something happened, but you're actually going to have to go into the SD card, find the timestamp, and grab it. We have our all events if we wanted to do that. I'm going to come back to this one here, because if we have, pausing, if we have a detected event and it's recorded, I can either check the SD card, I can download this, I can share this, I can delete it, I swipe, and I can give feedback. I also have the ability to go live, or if I don't like this view, I can change the view. So instead of the timeline, it's more of this bulleted view here. I can change it back. We can also filter for what we're looking for. In my case, I could look for person, package, vehicle, pet, but this is inside at the moment. I can look for sounds. Now, everything other than motion or sound is going to be something that you have to have a Wyze subscription for. They kind of demark it by changing the color. So I want you to be aware of that. If you don't have the Wyze subscription, you're going to be left with these triggered events like this, and then have to go and find it on the SD card. Speaking of our SD card, that is our next option to the right. If I select that, this is going to show us our 24/7 recording. So right there, I can see there are 3 events in this recorded time frame. I can scrub through my recording like this. If I tap on my events, it will show me, well, here it detected a person, right? Say there I am. I can pause that and I can take a snapshot of whatever's going on screen. If I press play, take a snap, I can record, meaning whatever it's going to see there, it's going to record it. I can stop the recording. And then from here, I can access the album. In this view, I also have the ability to change my date. So here you can see anything that has a white dot under it indicates that there is a action or recording that I can look at. And just like before, we can select our filters to narrow down what we happen to be searching for. Coming back, we have our waypoint. Now, right now, I don't have any waypoints set up. So if we wanted to, we're going to hit our edit and we're going to set up waypoints. So this is going to be my first waypoint. This one over here is going to be we'll make that my second waypoint. I'll bring it back to here. I'll set that as my waypoint. And then I'm going to select my third waypoint, which I should move the camera before doing so, and then hit set. And there we go. And if I come here, I can select that as my home. You can see it's denoted as such there. And then we've got some waypoints and we're just going to hit done. And now I can calibrate the camera if I want to, and it's going to spin it around to make sure that it's absolutely centered. And I'm going to bring it back around to what I want to be the home. And we're going to hit X. So those are our waypoints. So these are kind of quick travel spots where I can kind of move around without having to actively use the directional pad there, which we'll talk about a little later. Coming over to the right, we have our photo. If I take a photo, this is going to take a picture of whatever happens to be on screen as a still frame. I can hit record. And again, this is more interesting if I could get something to move through frame. We're going to hit stop. Now that's saving the recording. We have our siren. We're going to swipe that to the right. We have our smart track. So that's if a person or a pet wanders through frame, that it will smart track them. Now this will work for motion if you do not have a Cam Plus subscription. To the right of that, we have pan scan. You do need to have waypoints set up for pan scan to actually work. If you don't, it's just going to sit there. Within our pan scan settings, I can set up a schedule, a start time and an end time, and then days of the week, and then it will cycle through all the waypoints that we have, stopping for 20 seconds before moving to the next. So this is really a true scanning as opposed to some that will move, stay there for an hour, move, and stay there. This is going to constantly be moving around. To the right of that, we have our album. We have access to our photos, videos, and so forth. And then if we swipe over more, we have time lapse, which you can set up a time lapse. So you can set a start time, duration, and then view album once you get it all situated. And then we have a quick toggle for turn off, which actually isn't turning off. It's more putting the camera into privacy mode. We do have our directional controls right here. There we can see I've got my cat wandering in. She's probably wondering where her food is, but these are our pan tilt controls, easily accessible no matter what screen we're on right here. And that has been all the controls. We're going to come up to the top and select our settings. From here, we can adjust our name. We can come down here and select detection settings. Now, notice we have pan and fixed, meaning we can change this for both the cameras. So first and foremost, we're looking at our pan. We can select our detection zones. Right now I have that off, but we can turn this on and you'll get a grid. Now, the one problem with a detection zone on a moving camera is that the detection zone will also move with you. So problematic. Motion tagging is the green box that you saw around me when I was showing you the footage before. Motion detection sensitivity, you've got a sliding scale from 1 to 10. Sound sensitivity, similar, 1 to 10. And then we can come up to our fixed and we can do the exact same thing. Underneath that, we have our motion warning on or off. If we turn this on, you can select a motion warning sound. You are being recorded, or the Wyze tone.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
It can repeat anywhere from 10 seconds up to 60, or just do it once per event. And then schedule, you can do always or a custom where you can set your specific time and date. For where I have this, we're just going to turn that off and then come down. We have our sound detection sensitivity, 1 to 10, low to high. And then you have the same exact for your fixed camera, allowing you to have individual settings for both, which is great. Event recordings, if we come in here, you've got motion recordings or sound. You can do all events or smart events only, and then customize your recording. Now, smart events is only going to be if you pay for a Wyze subscription. Likewise, coming into the customized recording, you only get these if you have a Wyze subscription. Notice friendly faces, I have to have a better Wyze subscription than I have in order to get that. If you don't have any of this, you just get recordings for motion and sound events. That's it. Coming back, we have our micro SD card. Turn that on or off for localized storage. You have continuous recording or events only. I recommend doing continuous because it's a powered device. Might as well. You have format, which will erase everything, but also set your SD card so it's ready to be used. And then you can see here how much actual recording space you have, and then properly eject your micro SD card at the bottom. Under that, we have notifications. You can turn on and off your notifications and then what you want. So events, I can select manage, and keep in mind, again, only because I have a Wyze subscription, can I choose person, pet, vehicle. If you don't have this, you just have motion and sound. That's it. But you can choose to record and then to notify, or vice versa, maybe just record and don't send a notification. I'm going to turn that off for the moment. We're coming down to our pan controls. Here we have the rate at which it will rotate, slow to fast, and then pan scan. Turning this on, just like we had in the other location, would set up a schedule for your panning as well as another access point for your calibration. Coming down, we have alarm settings. We have our smoke alarm and our CO alarm. These are not actually built into the camera itself. What it will do is it listens for the universal tone for a smoke detector and a CO alarm, letting you know if it hears those. So if you have this in a central location where those could be useful to have. Coming down, we have our spotlight settings. Again, we can do pan or fixed. We could do brightness of low and high. And then we have spotlight controls. Auto, which the light will be turned on when it's dark, or manual, which will allow you to set up a schedule for when that goes off. But we're going to come back over here and then notice that our spotlight controls, when they're on auto, give us the ability to do it for all motion, for smart detected events. And again, notice you have to have the paid service, but you can come in here and select what you want this to turn the LEDs on for. Person, pet, or vehicle, how long it's on for, 15 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes. And you have a schedule of sunrise to sunset, or you can set specific times that you'd like that to occur. Coming down, we have our advanced settings. Again, notice pan and fixed. We can turn on our night vision, so auto on or off. What type? Night vision conditions, so dark or dusk, which is just low light. What would you like to happen? Night vision. In this case, the IR lights. Do you want to have your status light on or off? Rotate image 180 degrees. So if you have this mounted upside down, you could flip it around. Show timestamp, show Wyze logo, and record sound. So if you live in an area that does not allow you to record sound, this is how you can turn it off. And then sync your time with your phone. Coming down, we have accessories, lamp socket V2. You could link this up to that if you had that accessory. I don't. We have automations, which is Wyze's if this then that service. It's there. If you have other Wyze devices, that's more useful. Sharing, you can share this with somebody else. They need to have their own Wyze account and an email address that you can send it to. Device info, lots of sensitive information in there, so I won't be showing you that. Mounting guide, similarly to how they showed you when you were first setting it up, so you can pick if you need to go back and see that. Wyze support, do you need to access Wyze support? You have help center, begin troubleshooting, or submit logs, or it will gather logs from your camera. We have restart the camera, reset the camera, and delete this device from your Wyze account. And that has been everything that we can do for the Wyze Duo Cam Pan in the Wyze app.